Some people live long life. But we also can see some people, they die when they're very young. Some others are very healthy and strong, while some other people are very weak and very sick often. Some people are intelligent, while others are very stupid. Why there are so many differences? This was the question asked by a young man. The Buddha said, Kammasaka manava satta, kamma dayada, kamma yoni, kamma bandhu, kamma patisarana, kamma satte vibhajati yadida hina panitatayati. Young man, it is because of karma. We have karma as our inheritance, as our congenital cause. We are born out of karma. We are supported by karma. It is because of karma that human beings are born to different status. And these differences among the mankind can be seen because of the karma. So this answer of the Buddha suggests that everything happened because of karma. But Buddha never said that everything happens because of past karma. But what it means here, karma has great influence in our life. It can decide many things in our life. But we should not misunderstand that everything happens because of karma or everything happens because of past karma. Now, moving forward, to understand the karma and to understand that it is only one of the force that operate in this universe, we need to have a little bit of clarification about what karma is. The Pali word karma simply means action. But when it comes to Buddhist teachings of the doctrines of karma, it's not a simple action. It's a very specific action. Here, in the teachings of the Buddha, when it is said karma, it means specific type of actions which is able and capable of produce reactions. Such actions leave behind seeds that can ripen. Well, karma also can be simply means simple actions which may not have any karmic consequences. For example, when you are thirsty, you may drink some water. This is just an action, it is not a karma. When you are hungry, you may eat something. When you are sleepy, we take rest, we sleep. There are such kind of many actions we do in our day-to-day life. They are simply actions, but they are not karma. So what it means by the term karma, it has got two important factors. Number one, it has to be intentional action. Number two, it has to have a kind of ethical valuation. When there are these two things, then we can recognize it as a form of karma. Explaining what is karma, the Buddha explained in the Vedika Sutta. Chetanahang bhikkhave kammang vadami, chetitva kammang karvati kayena vata manasa. Monks, I declare his intention, which is karma. Having thought, having willed, one will do actions through one's thoughts, words, and physical actions. So here Buddha emphasized intention as karma. So it's very important for us to understand here. It is only intentional action which has got ethical evaluation, moral degree, and that is considered as karma. Let's take some examples to understand this. A doctor does a surgery, but the patient dies. Is this the evil action of the doctor? The doctor did not have any intention of killing here. The doctor had the intention of rescuing, supporting this patient to recover. But it so happened the patient died. So we cannot consider that this is an evil action. You are driving a car and accidentally you knock down someone, the person died on the spot. Is this an evil karma? No. Because the driver did not have any intention of killing. It is simply an accident. But you purposely drive to kill someone and purposely knock down that person and kill on the spot. That is karma. While you're walking on the road, you may step on many insects, many ants, and such living beings will kill because of your stepping, but it is not your karma because you did not have any intention. So here karma means you must have clear intention. At the same time, it must have some degree of moral evaluation, moral valuation. Then only it can be considered as a karma. The Buddha, in very clear terms, divide karma into two major sections. In one hand, he talks about wholesome types of actions, kusala karma, wholesome action. On the other hand, he talks about akusala karma, unskillful actions, unwholesome actions. Simply we recognize them as good action and bad action. But here a question may arise. How can we recognize good and bad? In one culture, what is recognized as good may be considered as evil in another culture. For example, in Buddhist teaching, we recognize killing is an evil action. But it is possible under some conditions in certain cultures, killing is accepted and even recognized as a form of good action. So in this particular case, how can we recognize what is good, what is bad? Is it because of culture? Does it based on the religion? Here Buddha has given us very clear instructions how to recognize good and bad. One day, he addressed Venerable Rahula. The little Rahula was standing just in front of a mirror. So Buddha asked this question, Rahula, what is the purpose of having a mirror? The little Rahula replied, Venerable said it is for the purpose of reflection. So Buddha continued, exactly so, Rahula. Before you do any kind of actions, you must reflect carefully. These actions that I am going to do, will it bring any kind of negative, destructive, unwholesome types of results? This action that I am going to do, will it bring any kind of good, wholesome, positive type of results? Having thought carefully, having evaluated the actions, then you must do wholesome actions. You must avoid unwholesome actions. Here Buddha teach us to recognize good and bad based on three kinds of conditioning. First of all, in order to understand whether an action is good or bad, we have to analyze the motive behind the action. Any kind of actions which is motivated by greed, hatred, and delusion, that is recognized as unskillful, negative action. Should not be done. Any action which is motivated by generosity, compassion, and wisdom, that has to be recognized as a good action, wholesome action. So one way to understand what is good and bad is to analyze our own motive behind the action. Secondly, we also must understand and analyze our intention. Any kind of action which is intended to bring suffering, intended to bring sorrow, lamentation, pain, then that is recognized as harmful. But on the other hand, any kind of actions which is intended to bring peace, happiness, joy to yourself and fellow brothers and sisters, that has to be recognized as wholesome action. So the second way to recognize good and bad is to analyze your own intention before you do anything. Very carefully, you ask from yourself, what is the motivation behind this action that I am going to do? What is my intention behind this action? So when you analyze motivation and intention, you can understand whether the action that you are going to do is good or bad. Third way to recognize good and bad is the consequences of the action. This action that I am going to do, and after doing that action, probably the consequences will be like this or like that. In this way, we can use our common sense and we can assume and we can analyze our own action. And then if any actions that you assume if you were to do that lead to suffering, and then that should not be done. It is a negative action. But any actions that you assume that after doing, it will result in wholesome way, bring peace, happiness and joy, then it is to be done. So in this way, we also have to recognize and analyze the consequences of the action. So how to recognize good and bad? It is based on your own motivation, intention, and the consequences. When you analyze very carefully these three steps, you can yourself recognize what is good and what is bad. So Buddha's advice for his wise disciples, here disciples does not mean only monks and nuns, but the disciple means all his disciples, including male and female lay followers. His instructions to them, sabba papas lakarana, refrain from all the kind of evil, wicked, immoral, unwholesome types of actions. Kusalasa sampada. They dedicate yourself to cultivate positive, constructive, and wholesome types of action. So, good and bad, or wholesome and unwholesome, or positive or negative, these actions can be easily recognized. Wholesome actions, they are spiritually praiseworthy, socially beneficial, and karmically productive in happiness. They bring joy and happiness. Buddha says, Chayava anapayini, such kind of pleasant actions, beautiful actions, wholesome actions, they will follow you like your own shadow and will give you the due results in time to come. They will bring so much bliss and happiness. On the other hand, those actions which are spiritually blameworthy, socially destructive, and karmically harmful, lead to suffering. And these are the actions which are negative and destructive. You must avoid such actions. So now we simply understand karma, what is good, what is bad, how to recognize good and bad. We have this understanding now. So now moving forward, there are some seriously misunderstood certain concepts related to the karma, but the Buddha has rejected them. In the time of the Buddha, there were some popular theories and beliefs that he rejected flatly. One of the ideas he openly rejected is known as Pubbhe Kata Hetuvada, past action determinism, belief that everything happened because of past karma. Remember, Buddha rejected this idea. Buddha never taught everything happened because of past karma. This idea was rejected by the Buddha. And Buddha argued, if everything happened because of our past karma, then we cannot change. We cannot change to be a better human being. No matter how hard we work, we cannot change. Because our life is already decided by our past karma. Buddha says, if everything happened because of past karma, no point of doing good, because you cannot change your future. No point of refraining from evil. So Buddha rejected this idea. So the idea that everything happens because of past karma is not Buddhist idea. This idea is coming from Jainism. It is the Jaina Mahavira, the founder of Jaina religion. It is his theory that everything happens because of past karma. Buddha never taught such a thing. So Buddha rejected this idea. The second theory Buddha rejected is known as Issara Nimmana Hetuvada. This is the belief that everything happened in our life happens because of the will of the Creator God. Issara here means the Creator God. In the time of the Buddha, people believed in life, good and bad things happen, pleasure and pain is born, and everything goes according to the will of that Creator. Buddha rejected this idea too. He said, if everything happened because of the will of that Creator, then we don't have choice. Life is fatalistic. We cannot change. So Buddha rejected this idea. He said, if everything happened because of the Creator's will, there's no point of doing good and refraining from evil. No matter how hard you work, you cannot change your life. So Buddha rejected the second idea too. The third theory the Buddha rejected is known as Ahetu Apaccayavada. It means accidentalism. According to this theory, things happen in our life accidentally, randomly. There is no real cause. In our life, we experience pain and suffering, and the life goes on according to accident, without any real cause. Buddha rejected this idea too, and he said, if it is the case, if everything happened accidentally, randomly, without real cause, then again no point of working hard, because you cannot change anything. After all, things happen accidentally. The fourth idea that Buddha rejected is known as Akiriyavada. Akiriyavada is the materialistic view. And these are the people who said there is no karma, there is no rebirth, there is no good and bad. So these people simply deny the effect of action. They simply deny cause and effect. Buddha said there is karma, there is vipaka, results of karma. There is action and reaction, there is cause and effect. So Buddha said that there's nothing happened without a cause. Everything happened because of causes and conditions. So the karma can ripen as vipaka. So Buddha rejected this fourth idea too, which is there is no karma or there is no rebirth. So Buddha affirmed that there is rebirth, there is karma. So here, then the Buddha project his idea of karma. Good and bad actions, they give good and bad results. So every single moment we are becoming someone that depends on our own thoughts, words and actions. We are not slave to our actions. We are not slave of our karma, but we can choose to be better. So we can change our life. Our life is not predestined. Our life is not fated. We can change for better. So because of that, the Buddha's teaching of karma, that we have so much belief in our own action. So watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Watch your words, for they become your actions. Watch your actions, for they become your habits. Watch your habit, for they become your character. Watch your character, for they become your future. So everything starts with our thinking. So Buddha says, mind is the forerunner for everything. Mano Bubbang Dhamma Dhamma Mano Setta Manomaya, says in Dhammapada. So mind is the forerunner for everything. So if it is the case that if you want to change for better, and starting point is our own mind. Based on mind, then we can take actions through our thoughts, words, and through physical action, then we can change our life better. Now, when it comes to the question, does everything happen because of karma? As I said, Buddha rejected that everything happened because of past karma. Buddha also rejected the idea that everything happened because of the Creator's will. Buddha also rejected the idea that everything happened randomly. Then Buddha also rejected the idea that there is no karma, but he said there is karma. So he rejected materialistic view. So having said so, Buddha also doesn't say that everything happened because of karma. Why? Other than the karma, there are other forces operating in this universe. So there are 5 types of forces operating in this universe. Karma is only one of them. So what are the other forces? First of them is known as Uttudiyama, physical law. This universe operates according to the physical law. Sometimes it is cold, at other times it is hot, sometimes it is rainy, windy. Tsunami, tornado, earthquake, such kind of natural disasters occurs. Why the earth pulls everything towards its center? Such kind of things happen because of Uttudiyama, physical, inorganic order of the universe. Physical law. Suddenly the Buddha said, Bijaniyama, biological laws. Human beings, other living beings, flora and fauna, how living beings evolve and how they are still evolving. Why does your son look like your grandfather but not like you? And that will explain the theory of the genes. So scientific discovery of genetics and the theory related to genes, all this belong to the second order, Bijaniyama, biological law. The third force operating in this universe, the Buddha says, Kamma Niyama, the law of the karma, cause and effect, the moral law. Every action has reaction. Every action can produce results. Every intentional action which has got moral evaluation or moral degree, and such actions can give results beyond the day. Some of these actions give results in this life itself. Some actions go beyond the death. Some actions, some karma can be annihilated. So here we do not say that all the actions will ripen. When the action to come into ripening, there should be necessary condition. Karma is like a seed. You plant a mango seed, as long as there is no rain, as long as there is no sunshine, and necessary conditioning, then this seed will not sprout into a plant. Exactly so. Karma also come into existence when there are necessary conditioning. So here, karma niyama is the third force operating in this universe. Dhamma niyama, the fourth law. Here, the Dhamma, the law of the Dhamma. Dependent origination. Why everything is interdependent and interrelated in this universe? Four noble truths. Three characteristics of existence. The law discovered by the Buddha, the eternal truth, the Dhamma. And that explains self-subsisting nature of this universe. So it is the fourth law or force operating in this universe. It is because the Dhamma niyama, Nibbana, is possible. It is possible for us to develop our ethical, spiritual, and intellectual faculties, and we can get rid of this cycle of existence and attain perfect enlightenment. So this theory is Dhamma niyama. Finally, Chitta niyama, the fifth one, the psychic law. The mind is more powerful than we have seen. Human mind has got so much power dormanted within it. Buddha teach how to develop the mind and achieve various kind of psychic powers and abilities. In Buddhist teachings, we come across that those who develop the mind to the highest level and achieve various kind of psychic abilities, they go beyond the normal state. They achieve various powers in the mind itself. So these are the five universal powers or forces operating in our existence. So karma is only one of them. So sometimes when there are tsunami, earthquake, tornado, such kind of natural disasters, some people go to the extent to say that this is karma, this is karma. But this is wrong. Natural disasters do not occur because of karma. Natural disasters occur because of uttu niyama, physical law. And on the other hand, some people, again in life, whatever happens, they like to point out into a karma. This is my karma. When you fail exam, you might say this is my past karma. When you cannot get a proper job, you might think this is my past karma. When you cannot find someone to get married, you might think this is my past karma. This is wrong understanding of karma. Buddha never says that everything happens because of past karma. Buddha also did not say that everything happened because of karma. Other than the karma, there are also other forces existing in this universe. But Buddhism recognizes karma is one of great force that operating in our life. So Buddha's advice for his wise disciples to understand this karma well, then to refrain from negative, destructive, unwholesome types of actions because they produce suffering. And then he also advised his disciples to do wholesome, positive actions because they bring peace and happiness. And eventually Buddha also encouraged his disciples to sacitta pariyodapana, to purify the mind, to practice meditation, and eventually to achieve enlightenment. So this much is enough as a talk. Perhaps you might have questions to ask. So if you have got any questions to ask, we'll dedicate this time for that. Thank you so much.
Bhante, would you allow our Bhante here to do a little bit of translations to the Sangha teams, please? Thank you.
ขออนุญาตแปลนิดหนึ่งนะครับสำหรับท่านที่ไม่สามารถจะฟังเข้าใจได้ทั้งหมด